Very own Jay Williams to the show. It's time to talk some basketball, Jay Williams.
Be careful what you ask for.
I'm just saying. I got to ask this question. What's wrong with this dude? Do you have any problem with him talking about how everybody puts their shoes on the same when he's deferring or referring to James Harden?
I like the bravado. I just don't like him saying it out loud. By the way, Russell Westbrook did not play in that last game. You can look forward to that matchup. I don't know if this team is going to make the playoffs due to all their injuries. Jaren Jackson, Brandon Clark is out, Grayson Allen out for the season, Justice Winslow has been out for the season, Jay Crowder gets traded to Miami. I don't think they have the same dogs in them, plus they have the hardest remaining schedule, Stephen A. It's a worrisome place for a team that just lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, but we saw Ja Morant balling throughout this season, obviously. You even had people talking about how he may have been an all-star. I'm not even going there. What I will ask you is this. Has there been a slight drop-off? Has the rookie hit a wall in any way in your mind right now?
Well, I think the legs are getting a little bit heavier. It happens to every rookie around this time of the year. And I will say this time of the year, scouting report is pretty much cemented. Guys know how you play, especially with less options on the table. There will be a lot of attention on Ja Morant. I don't think he's felt that kind of pressure yet.
Well, I'm just going to say this. Do you believe this guy has the capability, even as a rookie, to carry this team?
To the playoffs?
To the playoffs.
No, not right now in the Western Conference. If we were in the East, I would say yes, but not in the West right now.
You really believe that? You don't believe that at all?
I don't think, it's not saying that I'm knocking him. I think he's talented as heck. I just don't think if he has enough by himself without the firepower to make everything easy for them to get to the playoffs at A spot.
Don't go anywhere. You're going to
right here.
You're going to stay
I'm right here.
I like the mock neck, the turtleneck.
You know, you had it on the other day.
It's a little dapper. I got to give you credit for that. Let me transition to our nation's capital here. The Wizards' Bradley Beal is back in action to take on the Nets. Beal has reached at least 50 points in back-to-back games, the first player to reach 50 in consecutive nights since Kobe Bryant back in 2007. The guy can ball. Look at that right there. Wilt Chamberlain, 50 points in at least 3 straight games, but they were all losses. If Beal scores 50 again tonight, but they lose, he'll be the only player since Wilt Chamberlain to score 50 points in 3 straight games, and not get that job done. We welcome Mike Wilbon to the show. Let's get right into it, Mike. Bradley Beal has been on a tear, has scored 50-plus over the last 2 games, both of them losses. He scores a 3rd straight 50-point game, and they lose. The only person that's pulled that off in NBA history is Wilt Chamberlain. When you think about Bradley Beal being in this situation, should he have regrets about re-signing and re-upping with the Washington Wizards?
Stephen, you know, I'm sitting right now about a mile from, Capital One Arena where the Wizards and Brooklyn are going to play tonight. And that has been the question. I mean, so many people said to Bradley Beal, sort of, why are you doing this? You know you're going to be the biggest free agent in what is supposed to be a soft free agent season. You're going to be the big guy. Why don't you just let people come and chase you and love you and go somewhere where you can win? And he felt this obligation, Stephen, which has endeared him to the nation's capital, the metropolitan area here. You know what? I know his face has shown frustration, but when you talk to him, he says, no, I wanted to do this. He obviously re-upped for 2 years when he didn't have to. People love him for that, but Stephen, it doesn't mean he's going to win. And remember, they're trying to catch Orlando. The Wizards are already 0-4. They've lost their 4 games to Orlando. So now they got to do better. They got 2 games against Brooklyn. They need to win them both, including tonight. But the frustration, I don't think is going to go away because it doesn't mean because he's scoring 50, as you've outlined, that they're going to win games. And so there's no help coming. It's not like John Wall is going to magically reappear 3 or 4 weeks from now that we know of. So it's a tough road for Bradley Beal.
In their first game in Toronto since losing last season's conference finals, the Bucks came back from a double-digit deficit to defeat the Raptors because I wanted to transition to the Milwaukee Bucks right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the reigning MVP, had 19 points, 19 rebounds, and 8 assists as Milwaukee won its 50th game of the season, and that put them in elite company, becoming just the 7th team to reach 50 wins within their first 58 games of a season. Of the 6 other teams, Wilbon, 5 went on to win the NBA title with the lone exception being the 73-win Warriors in 2015. 2016. You spent some time with the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, last week. Tell me what you peeled from him that should give us reason to believe that we're not going to see what we saw in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Milwaukee may very well end up advancing to the NBA Finals.
Stephen A., 2 things that sort of struck me that last week and into this week. One, he's a better player. He did not get frustrated last night when Toronto sent those multiple bodies and walled him off. You remember, we were sitting there last year. He would get walled off. He'd jack up an ill-advised shot, or he was a willing passer, but not as capable a passer. He's a better passer right now. He's got the better jump shot right now. We know he can get to the rim. That's not going to be happening that much against Toronto if they meet again in the series. But the way he knows how to play them and rely on his teammates, including Middleton, who's also a better player. And Stephen A., there's a calm about Giannis that I believed I sense now that I did not necessarily sense last year. You know, when you lose that kind of series, when you're up 2-0, and remember, Milwaukee probably should have won Game 3. So you could get frustrated by that and let that carry you into the next season and the next postseason. We haven't gotten to the postseason yet, but he seems so calm and so much more poised, and that improvement is emotional, psychological, and physical. And I think they're in a different place as a team because of him.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.